What's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of the Indian Dots podcast. We are officially in daylight saving time, which means it is depressing as shit. It gets dark at 4:30.
Dark outside.
And welcome to winter.
Yeah, baby.
I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Don't eat.
I love winter.
Don't eat. Don't eat. No. It's bad for the listenership when you eat. Someone chewing in your ear. Imagine listening to something and someone's chewing in your ear.
It's what it is, man. Doctor got
No,
eaten.
it's not, man. Okay. Oh, it's horrible. Drinking
I'm gonna have this one last reason. Yeah.
Okay, you have one last reason. That's it.
Sorry.
Man, last week you started off by coughing. This week you're starting off by eating. Next week you're gonna try taking a piss. I'm sure, man. Watching.
Two-handed technique.
Two hands on the wall. Two hands on the wall. For those of you that don't understand the reference, please listen to one of our previous episodes where it lists this out. Anyway, I hate daylight saving time, man. It's horrible. It's depressing.
You know, we're like one of the few countries that actually does this, isn't it? This whole system about changing the clocks and this bollocks, isn't it?
I don't know why we do it. I've always wanted to know, and I've always thought, let me find out.
Google it live on the podcast.
Oh my god! Okay, only if you stop slurping your tea.
Oh my god! You're such a little.
Listen, yeah, you're not the guy that edits this. You're not the guy that edits this afterwards, and I have to listen and be like, oh, I have to pull that down. If you can drink it and not slurp it, we're good to go.
You know what I've done today? I've made tea, and I've experimented by using coconut milk rather than real milk.
Mm-hmm. Tastes like a bouncy bar, isn't
it? Can you see the colour?
That's disgusting.
It just looks wrong, man. It doesn't.
Yeah, that
like
bits
in there. It does taste like a bounty bar. So it tastes. Oh, the cough's coming. Oh.
Fucking hell! This is the worst start to a podcast ever, man. Honestly.
Keeping it real, man. Keeping it real.
The amount of people that are leaving this episode right now is unmatched. Oh God! Oh. Right. Why do we do daylight saving time?
I feel like it's a safety thing, maybe.
Safety? Explain to me your safety logic.
I don't know. It might be something they just told us in school because we were in school. They're like, so we don't want you walking home late. We'll just make the clocks change so you're going home earlier. It's darker earlier, some shit like that.
Well, essentially, it says here. The idea was fucking stop
farmers,
man.
Is it to do with farmers?
No.
Okay.
Okay. So it says, mentioned by Benjamin Franklin. Oh. He said it should be a thing. It wasn't a serious proposal until
in America.
So he proposed it in 1784, right? Then it wasn't until 1907 that a proposal for it was written in Britain by William Wellett. He was angry at the waste of the daylight during summer mornings, where he self-published a pamphlet called The Waste of Daylight. Then after that, when he died, Germany became the first country to adopt it, and the UK did the same in the First World War. And that was that, I think. With the war over, Britain returned to British summertime, except for the experiment when the clocks went forward but were not put back. The experiment was discontinued as it was found impossible to assess the advantages and disadvantages of British summertime. What? Look, people like it when it's lighter for longer periods in the day. Like, how is that hard to understand? Should we change for British summertime? See, these guys are obsessed with the summer and not the clocks going back. Only 70 countries in the world adopt some form of daylight saving, mainly in Europe and North America. For countries in equatorial regions, so it's close to the equator, there is little variation in the length of daylight across the year, with roughly 10 or 12 hours. So because we're at the extremes of the globe, I think they try and balance it out. But I don't think it does that.
I love how your geography is coming to the forefront and you're like, equatorial, near the equator.
In the middle. Look, man, we have people that aren't very good at geography listen to this. I have to be all-encompassing and all-welcoming and non-discriminatory.
Like your top says.
What does it say?
Train you, I will.
Exactly. Thank you. Shout out to Yoda and Star Wars, man. Do you want to know a funny story about this top? I know we're going into a stupid thing now, but this is the first thing that I bought with Sanj when we were friends at university.
Hi,
but low-key, I love it. It's like a really comfortable t-shirt.
So when you say you bought it together, and she was like, you should buy this because it looks nice.
She was just with me in, I think it was Harrods. And I said, can I use a discount? She said, yeah. And I was like, cool.
So two things.
Can I buy this?
Were you together then?
No. We were friends.
Friends, okay. You're a student at this point, yeah?
Yeah.
Why is a student shopping at Harrods?
Because she had discount because she used to work there.
Harrods, bro. Like, come on, get in your lane, man. Primark.
She had. Okay, I've
Primark.
never been to Harrods. Right.
Okay,
So
that makes more sense.
Well, let's go to Harrods, right? You work there, so let's go. So we went, had a look around. I saw this t-shirt. I was like, I quite like that, and I said, how much do you get with the discount? And then she told me, and I think it was like 30 quid. I was like, yeah, cool, done. Happy days.
You got a
Lasted
green
a long
bag.
time.
A green Harrods bag.
I think I did get the green Harrods bag. You know, I wanted the Harrods pen with a little bear on it. That's what I wanted.
I didn't know that existed. Okay.
Anyway, going back to the conversation topic, daylight saving time. Yeah, it's just equatorial, all that shit. I think it's because we're at the further points of the globe.
What is it that actually annoys you? Sorry.
I don't like how it gets dark really early. Like, imagine you're still working. You're sitting there at 4:30 and you've got to get up and turn the light on. And you're like, this is sad.
Weird.
Right?
Yeah.
For you're in hospital, so you might not feel it.
No, I do see it. We do have windows. We're not a prison.
I don't know.
And,
it depends on where you are.
It really does depend on where you are. Where I am at the moment, there is at the window, and in the last, like, let's say month, there are periods where there's basically 4 computers where I sit in this one area, and at the start of the day I sit close to the window. It's fine. This is like a month ago, and then throughout the day the sun just glares in and just like takes out your face. So I start moving down the row. But now it doesn't make a difference. It's just gloomy anyway, even if it's not. Even if it's not actually dark, it's just gloomy a lot of the time. It's kind of like in the second Lord of the Rings, at the start when Sam and Frodo are walking around. So we come back to Lord of the Rings.
No, I don't remember that at all because I've never seen it properly.
It says that the days are always dark here.
That's
when
cool.
you get close to Mordor. Yeah, it's very cool. If you took the time to appreciate how cool it
Garen,
was, you could
it's
become
not
a
gonna
cool
happen.
guy.
Stop it.
Cool guy.
We're 45 episodes into this podcast. You're not going to get me to like Lord of the Rings. It's a lost cause. Give it up. Okay?
Liking is one thing. You need to watch it and appreciate it. Then we can.
I'm not going to watch
work
it and
on the
appreciate it,
liking.
Garen. That's 9 hours of my life that I could be doing other shit for.
I will speak to the scheduler, aka Sanj.
You're not going to choke her into
We
Lord
will
of the
build
Rings.
in the time. It will be
No
at your
chance.
house.
No
It'll be at your
chance.
house. It'll be at your house, and you will press play. There you
I'm
go,
not pressing play
listeners.
at all.
Listeners, he will do this. Watch.
Do you think that I can get 3 hours of silence in my house? You're actually deluded.
I
No
will
way.
Push some buttons.
It'll be like 10 minutes interview. Can you just do this? Oh, there's someone coming over. Can you help clean up? Oh, I need to go out. Can you sort my phone out? Oh, and I'm just like, fuck me, man.
You know what Sanj?
No, I'm on about at home, like in Birmingham.
Oh, bro, what about
If I'm
your
with the parents.
London house?
Oh, no. It would never fly here. No.
I'm coming. I'm coming. No,
I
I'm
refuse. I refuse.
You don't have to. It doesn't involve you. Okay, it's me and
It
Sanj.
does involve me.
The decision makers
my
are making decisions.
Hang on, but this means that your wife has to accept the possibility of this too?
Yep. Yeah.
So Shindy has to be on board with this as
fully
well. I don't think
consented.
she will be. She ain't going to be on it.
If it means that you watch it, she's in.
No fucking way.
We're in the end game now, baby.
Okay, how about this? How about if you press play, I can do something else while it's on?
How about you watch it and I'll explain the intricacies of it to you.
No.
And then you start to understand how everything is Lord of the Rings.
Not
Every
everything is Lord
every
of the Rings.
storyline can fit into it. You could be a part of it. There's a
I
character
don't want
for
to
you.
be a part of it. I'm good.
I can think
know
of
you're
3
Gimli.
characters
It's
already.
fine. You can be Gimli. It's cool. Leave it.
You are Lord Denethor. Okay.
I don't know who that is, and I don't.
It's a
care
good
who
thing.
that is.
I gave you lordship. Okay, I mean this is a very high
I don't
prestigious
know,
one.
man. I don't know. There were loads of lords in Game of Thrones that didn't work out very well either. So
Sean Bean's in it. There you go. See, even Game of Thrones.
yeah,
crossover.
and he dies.
Yeah, he
Like
he
in
dies in
every
Lord of the
TV
Rings.
show.
He dies in Lord of the Rings.
Like in
he
every
does.
TV show.
He does. That guy is just made for sacrifice, isn't he?
I saw the first ever TV show that I watched was Time.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't the first ever show I watched. It was the first show I watched that he didn't die in, but he was close to dying in it, and I was like, wow, it would have been so fitting if he died, but no, they went against it. They're like, we're gonna get rid of this reputation off you, mate.
Always making sacrifice. I love that actor though.
Anyway, daylight saving time, not the one.
So darkness, yes.
Yes,
Darkness is your ally. I was born in it.
Hate it. However, I am a winter baby, so I thought that I would like it.
Yes.
I like the cold.
I see. Do you have differentiation? I associate the cold with the dark.
No, why? Summer nights are horrible. You're like, it's dark, it should be cold. No, it's still warm. You're like, oh, no, this is not fun.
And what does winter mean to you? Like, there are certain things you associate with winter, or
Christmas.
yeah, you like Christmas?
Christmas, love it, man. Always enjoyed Christmas as a kid.
Are
It's great.
you? I think as I got older, it's like the build up to Christmas is great. Christmas is okay, but the excitement of it's gonna come, film's gonna be on TV, setting up the tree,
and you get on the day itself, you're like, oh, this isn't what it used to be.
It's here, yeah.
But I enjoy the whole like build up to it, like putting the tree up, having people around, going to see people, Christmas Eve chill, watching
even
films.
Christmas shopping, man. Like, so we have this thing. We have one weekend normally. Well, actually, it won't be November this year because you've seen my calendar. But oh god, like in December, and it's like, well, we have a Christmas budget, right? And then it's like, right, gonna get in there. Normally boring. Bang, 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 bang. Everyone's presents done.
You should do one better. You should buy everything on Black Friday.
Oh yeah, you're in the marketing world. You got some inroads there.
Yeah, use your paycheck in November to pay for that, and you've got more in December.
I mean, I have basically what I do. I have a system which starts. It just carries on. Basically, I put £50 aside each month, and so by the time I get to Christmas,
that's very smart.
So it never touches my main. It's just like, right, this is all there is. You don't need to be happy with this. You know what I'm saying? Right, and then the other, but obviously it builds year on year. That's the other thing. So it's never like to zero each year.
I feel like kids are gone.
Yeah, what I try and do now with Christmas is like I try to be really meaningful. I don't want to give people crap that's just gonna sit in the house, like clutter the house. So, sorry, found something which was like, buy something you can wear, read, use. And there was something educational. I can't remember the fourth one, but it's one of those categories.
Reading clutter?
No, not for someone like you and me though. Like I think a good book with a personalized message on the inside is very, very meaningful.
So it has to be right for the person. So if somebody wears a lot, you want to get them clothes. If somebody reads a lot, you want to get them books. Like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I focus on really functional gifts, and and books. Like often there are books that I've already read, and I think this would be suited for this person. I'll write something like, these are the things I learned from it, and in time, like over time, that's a nice memory as well. Like, Karan wrote this for me specifically. I think I'm becoming more that way inclined now, rather than just buying people crap.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, me and my brother always trying to outdo one another at Christmas, so we always try to get someone.
Now, let's give some context to this, man.
It's
guys,
it's very tough.
Bal is like the most competitive human in all of human civilization.
In all of mankind, yes.
Right. So if you're trying to compete with that dude,
you know what though?
Let's go. Last year, what did he get you? Or the year before that? Let's give some context.
So last year, he got me a pair of Jordans.
Right. Okay.
And he got me this thing. Let me actually
in the Karan household.
Wait there.
Go. Context, guys. In the Karan household, Air Jordans are like gold. These guys love their trainers and specifically.
Actually, it's the opposite of gold because you have so many of them. Yeah.
No. Anyway, rich man.
This is what he got me. What I'm holding in front of you guys is basically a scent waterfall.
Wait. Oh, okay. I was going to guess, but Shindy told me off last week.
It's a scent waterfall. It's fucking fantastic. We'll come back to your guessing game in a second. I was editing that and I was like, man, you took forever to answer the question. So anyway, scent waterfall. You put like a little bit of incense at the top, comes down the waterfall into the little thing and comes down to the bottom. Has a nice incense around the house. And also, you sit and you watch it do its thing. And it is so satisfying. And at the end of it, you feel supremely relaxed. It's a good way to meditate.
So it's mindfulness exercise.
So this actually helped me when I was getting stressed during the wedding. I used to use this a lot. Still use it now, to be fair.
Have you weed in it? Weed.
Maybe. That would be a nice little challenge.
Watch it come down, yeah.
But no, it has to burn like through the sides. Has to work its way through. It lasts about 10 minutes a piece, so it's nice. It's very nice.
Okay, and what did you get, Bal?
I got him. He had a phone, and there was only a controller that was compatible with the phone. It was like a game controller that you could get on his phone. Essentially, it turns it into like a PlayStation Portable or a Switch or whatever. And I had to get it from Japan, and I had to have it sent over here. So I bought it like 2 months in advance, and it arrived like a couple of weeks before Christmas. I was getting a bit nervous. I think I won, but he broke his phone earlier in the year. He was cycling, and it fell out of his bike, and a car went over it, and now I can't use the phone.
So your gift is redundant is basically what you're saying.
Now
but who is the judge
No one's a judge. I think it's just a feeling of satisfaction. You can tell when the other person's faking it. You can tell when they're not feeling it. I like how you tried to mute Zoom and you tried to mute the sound, even though it's picking up on the fucking iPhone.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
idiot.
I forgot. I was like, I'm being so mindful there. Oh, indeed. Yeah.
Dumbass.
Didn't work. Yeah.
So yeah, it's dependent on how the other person reacts. This year I'm a bit stumped, but I always figure something out. So yeah.
How about your sister? Can she not judge?
No, she can't. No. There isn't a judge, like, if it comes to a judging thing, it's like favoritism, isn't it? My sister's always going to side with me because I'm a favourite out of me and Bao. Like,
Oh,
so yeah.
Okay, so you need someone impartial.
There's no one impartial. Everyone's always got some skin in the game.
There's no one impartial.
Everyone's got skin in the game.
Is there anyone impartial? Well, your dad, surely your dad's impartial, man.
My dad doesn't understand the stuff again. He's like, well, why have you got another pair of trainers?
Therefore, he's impartial.
Why have you got another pair of
He's
trainers?
like, you
Why
both
do you need this on your phone?
You both lose.
Yeah, both of us lose. None of these are functional gifts. I think you should get my dad a functional gift and he'd love it. Yeah. I'll buy dad a cardigan like at Christmas. He loves it. Absolutely loves it. Either that or alcohol. Done.
Okay. That's very like...
Yeah,
to the point,
that or that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's November now. You know, Christmas is coming.
Black Friday, man. Trust me. Keep your eyes peeled and you'll find something and it will eliminate at least half of your gift giving that you need to do.
Well, yeah, true. I think with COVID last year as well, I think we're just doing less gifts now as well. For people maybe we used to do gifts to before, I don't think we're going to gift.
Yeah, I just tend to stick to family and that's it.
Which family though?
So in Sandra's family, we do a Secret Santa. In my family, we do each person and the kids.
Secret Santa with a
budget
limit.
Yeah.
It's the best.
And then with my family, it's mixed. So some people do, some people don't. And then the kids, we definitely get them something, and I get Sandra something done.
But your family, are you saying your side, immediate family only?
Yeah, immediate. So obviously, brother, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, sister.
Yeah.
It's the way to do it, man.
It is, man. I think because when you're young, I think maybe definitely in Punjabi circles, you have this tendency, probably on birthdays as well, that you do it to quite a extended variety of people, including like cousins.
Oh, yeah.
Right, but then you get older and you're just like, it's just not feasible, man.
Like I was saying earlier, the magic really is with kids at Christmas. Like when they come over and you see them and their eyes light up at like having gifts and you do the whole Santa thing and stuff, it's great. I absolutely love it. That's what I live for. Like I like seeing them on Christmas Eve when they're all excited to go to bed. I was like, oh, it's like looking at me 15 years ago. Actually, no more than that. So looking at me 25 years ago.
15 years ago, Indy. Oh, Mummy, Santana gonna Santa.
Bro, I used to think like Santa.
And then your mom tells you it's your dad. Your dad could be Santa. Yes.
No. I don't think it was. It would never have passed as dad because Santa
he could be.
He doesn't wear a bug.
Santa Manta. Your dad could be Santa. I'm thinking about it now.
Santa was always white, wasn't he? Like in TV and stuff. We always thought that he was this white guy.
When he wears a Shirani, he's Santa, man. I'm telling you. He's rocking.
Oh man. Yeah, it's weird. Like I believed in Santa for too many years, and then I went to school. Apparently, this is what my brother told me. I went to school, came back, and I was adamant that he wasn't real. Like it got around school, innit?
One day.
I was like adamant it's not real. Just one day, just came home, bam, he's not real. That's it, bam, finished. What I find difficult is if you're a sibling that's a little bit elder than say a younger sibling of like 4 years, you have to keep that lie going to not ruin the younger sibling.
Does that happen with you?
No, but I'm thinking because there are kids nowadays that are obviously going to be in that predicament. How do they go about it? Obviously, the parents got to be like, right, it's on you now to keep this magic going with your younger sibling.
I can't remember the moment actually when
I can either, but that's what they told me, so I believe him.
There's a few moments on there in your life. That's one of them. WWE is not real. Wrestling is not real. That's like, whoa.
That hurt me. That really.
But doesn't it? You're like, no, come on, look at it.
I was like, no, it's real. And then you watch it, you're like, why is it every time they try and strike something, the camera switches, and then it switches, and then it switches, and I'm like, why does it keep doing that? Yeah. And then you're noticing it's just leaving like this much of a gap between their face, right, and the actual hit, and they stamp every time they hit it. And it's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Proper unnatural. Like I tried.
It's like I remember
the
Rock. The Rock used to do when he had them on the ropes.
Yeah,
he did the three punches. But yeah, I was like, why is he stamping his foot as well?
There you go. That's why.
That's why. There you go.
Broke my heart, man. And then wrestling is no longer the same now. They've turned it into a soap opera. If you ever watch it, it's just 90%
Stories.
talking. Yeah, 90% talking, 10% action. It used to be the other way around, but now no, they flipped it the complete other way. I just zoned out. I was like, fuck this, man. I can't be
Storylines, man. Storylines.
Yeah, but you used to skip through it all because there was so much like bullshit talking throughout it. It's like, what's the point?
Unless, I mean, I used to like the bullshit players like The Rock or someone. The thing is, maybe you grew up with the wrestlers that you like.
You did,
Rock,
yeah.
Undertaker, Triple H, proper rivalry. Yeah, now it's like I see these people like Roman
Reigns. I don't know any of them, man.
I don't know any of them now.
All I remember seeing was just like there's always someone who comes back. Who's
like
like a legend every single year, and then they do something, and then they leave again.
No, they all become actors, aren't they? You hear The Rock, John Cena, Batista.
It's the next gradual step, isn't it? Or UFC guys are going into wrestling to make more money. So there's that as well.
Well, they've got the skill set, man. That must be easy for them, huh?
Yeah, for them it's easy, but obviously the
other way.
The difficult part is the charisma. Yeah, the only person that went the other way, there were two.
Brock Lesnar
and CM Punk, and CM Punk was horrifically bad.
Whereas Brock was actually good.
Brock was decent.
He won a title.
Brock was good, but then he got his number caught out very quickly by a couple fighters in a row, and then he retired. Then he came back, and he retired again. So yeah, but he was also taking heavy steroids. So yeah.
The big guy, man.
Insane. I'll never forget the clip of when Brock Lesnar was being... What was it? He went off the top rope. He missed, landed on his neck, and then carried on like everything was fine. I'm sure something like that happened. If you type in Brock Lesnar neck and like top rope, it shows it, what happened. But essentially, he landed on his neck like to the side, and he was fine. He didn't... normally, you would think he's fucking paralysed, but no, he was fine.
Yeah. The gear, man.
Exactly, gear. Man. Builds up your traps disgustingly when you're on steroids.
On that note, man, I absolutely pulled today, man.
What do you mean you pulled?
I was just, I was there, and this person, I'm going to tell you who it is at the moment, was just like, which gym do you go to?
If you say person, it's male.
Yeah, it's male.
because you would have said
lady. Yeah.
But you were like person, and I was
okay,
like,
the reason,
guy, man, it's cool.
The reason why I said person actually wasn't that. The reason I was saying is because it wasn't staff members, a patient as well. This old guy. I'm not really sure about his vision or anything, but he was like,
I'm not sure about his vision too. If he's giving you compliments,
he goes, "Which gym do you go to?" He goes, "You just big man. You filled out." I was like,
"Nah, he's chatting shit, man." He was gassing you up so much.
My script out's pretty tight. I was like, thank you so much for saying that. I was like, in my head, I'm thinking, I've been working out for a year and no one's appreciated this at all. But you've made my day today. I was just so happy. The first patient in the morning. No, it's true. First patient in the morning.
No, I believe it. But the fact you played up to it is.
No, I didn't. I'm saying this is in my head.
Oh, in your head. What did you say to him?
No, I was oh, thank you. Yeah, I have a PT. That was it. End of conversation.
Yeah, and you were like, hi. I love you.
yeah. I was like, can you say it again louder, so other people can hear?
Can I get a recording of this, please, so I can watch it back later?
It's like,
I feel that, man. I feel that. Fair enough. I respect it. Always good to get a compliment.
Gains.
I see you're wearing a new fleece top. Fair play. I'm glad you're no longer frugal.
I know this is very old, but I'm mindful that you complain.
Mindful. Thank you. I'm glad my complaints are finally going through. Thank you.
Well, the complaints department got to me.
Yes, they did. Yes, good.
Right, but you'll remember when we went recently for Fernando's. What was I wearing? Yeah, what was I wearing?
Yeah. You wore the typical fleece you've worn on the other day episodes. Yes.
Oh God, I'm gonna cough again.
Fucking hell! You've had a week to recover with this cough, and it's still not gone.
The third episode on the trot, isn't it? With the cough, it's just
I'm normally the ill one, man. It shouldn't be you.
Yeah.
Okay, Karan. I came here with a topic today that I wanted to talk about.
You did, and you just completely forgot about that, didn't you?
Yeah,
Christmas boy.
Pre-briefed you. What do you mean I completely forgot about it?
Christmas
I let the conversation flow, and then I bring this up afterwards. This is how
Christmas
the conversation
boy.
goes. So, Garen, tell me your thoughts on that special word with an R, religion. See, you dirty-minded people out there. I'm not catching you out. No, you're not catching me out with this dirtiness. No, religion, people, religion.
Sorry, what's the date word with R?
You can think of plenty of things, Garen. I'm not going to go down that avenue.
Oh, I see. There's not one big word though.
No, there's plenty.
The way
Depends on where
you
people
said
go.
that.
You said the big
you said
R.
that.
People are like, yes. See,
Okay.
they're like, is this episode going to go very left? No, it's fine. It's fine, guys. It's fine. Anyway, thoughts on religion. So, had some thoughts the other day pitched to me by Val, and he said, "What's your thoughts on religion and banning it until you're 16 years old?" And I was like, "It's a very specific age, but I can see why you chose 16, because 16 is the age of consent, right, in England."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, okay, does it make sense? Should that be a thing? Because prior to that, you're way too young, aren't you, to make your own decisions? To make your own decisions.
But I'm doing what?
What do you mean?
So let's play this out. So you're a religious family,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not trying to indoctrinate your children, let's say, but you're trying to teach them about the history.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, in our way, so I was taught a lot of Sikh history.
Mm-hmm.
How is that harmful? It can be harmful, but I'm saying, what version of it are people scared of?
I think it's the extreme version that people are scared of.
Right.
It's always the extreme, isn't it? There's soft religion, like the stuff that I have and maybe you have to a lesser extent. But then there's proper hardcore militant, everything must be done this way, nothing else is right, this is the way. Yeah.
Yeah, look, and that exists in every denomination, every religion,
Every sect has that, yeah.
way of life. Every sect will have a form of people who practice things to extreme. Now, here's the other delineation: practicing things to extreme in itself, for me, is not a problem. The imposition of that on normal people, or say on me, that's where I have a problem. So, for example, in the way I practice my Sikhi and the views I have and the beliefs I have, those are very personal to me, and I'll share them with people who are genuinely interested. But am I going to go and tell people this is the way you should practice your Sikhi, and if you don't, you're not a real Sikh? Absolutely not. And in the same vein, I don't expect that imposition back. Now, from a personal point of view, if I had been not exposed to this at the age of 16, I don't think I would have developed a love for my history, my language, for my, we can call it religion, at that point. Now, we talked about this on many podcasts before, about where values come from, right? And we know our belief systems, so not religious, generally, all belief systems are formed from a very young age based on what you're taught, what you see, what you observe, all that kind of stuff. A lot of that comes from your parents, but it can be other sources. And if that was completely taken out, then yes, okay, at 16, you may form a genuine love or affection for it. Or you might just be like, no, that's not for me. But for me personally, I wouldn't have it that way, having had life the way it's been for me. And with my kids, when I have them, they're definitely going to be exposed to all faiths. They should have an understanding. They should broaden their horizon. The way in which they practice it when they get older, my job as a parent, my job is just to provide that basis. So actually, you understand how I practice it. You can choose practice if you want to. You can see the merits and the other downsides to how I do things. You'll see things in the world. People will tell you things as well, and then it's making that informed decision.
I think having it pushed on you at an early age can be dangerous. So, for example, when
Define
I was
pushed.
When you're a kid, you're always going to do stuff that makes your parents happy, aren't you? You're going to obey and do what they sort of tell you to do because you want their approval. You want their love, right? Sometimes parents can do things that not unconsciously may make their kid do the same thing in order to get a good response out of them. So, for example, you can do a reverse psychology on a kid, can't you? You can be like, if you don't do this, it's going to make me very unhappy. The kid doesn't want that. They will do the thing that makes you happy, right? Now, if you're doing the same thing with religion, if you're saying you must do your Japji Sahib, which is Bart in Sikhi, right? You must do that every day in the car on the way to school, which is what I did, right? It's great. I
listen to it.
No, read it. Like, actually do it.
Okay.
We did it up to a point and then skip to the end and do the last slok, and that's it. But then I didn't know what I was saying. I was just saying it because I'm like, yeah, it's like a song. You can just read it off in the back of your head again and again, right? And that's what I did for years. And then looking back on it now, I don't know my Japji Sahib anymore because I haven't done it in years. But I would like to have probably known the meaning behind it when I was younger. But I don't think parents think that way. They don't think, let me teach you the meaning. They think, this is how it is. This is what it is. If you say this, you'll be fine. Done. Maybe we will be the generation that changes that and try and impose some basic knowledge on them. So one day they can question the knowledge and dig a little bit deeper. But there's some people out there like that I've dealt with that are Amradari, which is the baptized Sikh, and they would just spew some bullshit. Like there was one girl that I met her at a Sikh camp. She was, what was she? She was told, if you eat chicken, you will become a chicken. And she firmly believed it. And I was like, who told you that? And did they tell you this to stop you from eating any kind of meat? Therefore, you only eat vegetarian food. And therefore, you are essentially abiding by Sikh values. And I'm thinking, if that was the thought pattern that somebody has imposed on you with that, that is severely twisted. You don't just lie to someone in that way and do that.
Yeah, for the intention of what they're trying to achieve. Because you're right, if in that scenario, it's, well, if the argument is, not the argument, if the explanation is, look, we don't eat meat in Sikh faith. And the reason we don't do that is X, Y, Z. I.e., not based on fear, based on logic, right?
Yeah.
Because there are reasons for that. That's obviously much better. I guess in that situation, it's... Look, I have a much softer example, not to do with
in that
religion.
situation, it's pretty extreme, isn't it? And this is a person who was a teenager, like say about 17, 18. And she knew, she was fully all there in her head. She was a smart girl, but that was what she was taught. And I was like, you've never thought to question this. Like, if I eat chicken in front of you, do you see me wearing feathers? Like, no.
No, but okay. First, let's just take that out. I think the person who's telling them that is not saying in this life, it's saying that if you do it, when you come back, because we believe in reincarnation, you may come in the journey of a chicken.
You could say that,
yeah. Not, obviously not feathers coming out. But, look, and this is something I was thinking about this morning, actually, on the way to...
you were thinking about chickens and turning into a chicken?
No, okay. Not that. The thing with religion, right, is people will come to religion only for two reasons ever. It's out of pain, okay? So dukh.
Yeah.
Or it'll be because of prem, because of love, genuine love and desire to go there. They're the only two reasons that people will find it. And outside of that, trying to force it on somebody, there is some merit to, like for your example there, doing Japji Sahib in the car. It's very well versed that actually, if you think about reading any form of art as like eating a mishri. You know what mishri is, yeah?
What's mishri?
You know, like at the Gurdwara.
I know what it is, but tell people what it is. Like,
it's hard, isn't it? It's like a dry prasad, isn't it? Prasad, so it's a holy food. It's like a little...
Mishri is it the crystal
mint
one? Or is it the...
mint, the crystal mint.
Yeah.
I don't
actually know what it is, but it tastes really sweet.
Yeah, right.
Sweet. It's
like
basically a crystallized piece
sweet.
of sugar that you eat. That's it.
Right. Let's say that. And I remember someone very, very spiritual saying to me, he said, look, whichever way you eat this, right, you eat this side, you're going to get some kind of fall. You're going to get something from it. You're going to get that mitta feeling from it, right? And he says, when you're thinking about how you practice Sikhi, you can either be like, oh, okay, I'm not able to do this perfectly. I don't know the understanding of this, and I don't do this many hours a day, and I don't do this. He goes, yeah, you can think like that, or you can do something. And yes, obviously reading something and your mind being elsewhere is not the same as me reading it, understanding it, and becoming part of it, right? And I'll pull on a real example here. When we went on our couples holiday, and we did the Simran together. So guys, on this holiday, we had a harmonium and we did some meditation. And I remember what Yun San said straight after it. He said, I think you said something like, we haven't done that before, but we felt it.
Yeah.
Right? And the example here would be, I could get you could sit somewhere and you could just say the word Vaheguru. Vaheguru, guys, is our word for God. And you may not feel it.
Yeah.
But I know in that scenario, whatever the environment that we created, you were really resonating with that job, that Simran. And that's the difference. You're absolutely right. But in both examples, there is still always going to be benefit to it. You don't have the conscious brain as a child to understand that. Absolutely. But you're right. Obviously, having something with meaning, and I say this to people all the time. If we take Mool Mantra,
Yeah.
right? So Mool Mantra, guys, is the first part of
Japji
Guru Granth
Sahib.
Sahib and Japji
Yeah.
Sahib. You know, you read Mool Mantra at age 10, and then age 20, age 30, age 40, age 50. Each decade, the meaning of that will deepen if you stay aligned because of the experience you have in life. And the same thing you read will mean something different to you based on where you are in life. And that's been my experience of my journey in spirituality. But yes, I agree with you. Imposition is incorrect.
I think it has to be in moderation, doesn't it? It has to be. You can't simply
Yes.
just take the piss, and you can't say everything in life, every single rule in life has to come from a Granth Sahib. Like everything in life, every rule you abide by, morality, conscious choice making, it must be done by what's written here. Life isn't like that. You can't do everything written down on a piece of paper and say this is what you live by. Like say the Ten Commandments in
The Bible.
Christianity.
Yeah.
Right? Is that Christianity or Judaism? Sorry, I'm really naive here.
The Bible.
I think it's the Bible, and I think it's
Right.
Christianity. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got the Ten Commandments. No, it's not. No. The Ten Commandments is Judaism because that's
Moses. Okay. yeah.
Moses, and that's the Old Testament.
Okay. It's still in the Bible.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Judaism, right? Ten Commandments. That's great. What if something is proposed to you outside of those Ten Commandments? Now what do you do?
Yeah. So I think the thing is, I'm only going to speak from a Sikhi perspective. Sikhi is not about being a rule book. Okay.
It's one of the religions that isn't, to be fair. But
I-
people will
well,
still use it
yeah.
if they want to suit their
A guide.
agenda.
Yeah. But that's not. That's how somebody's interpreting whatever is there. Yeah, that's at the discretion of that person. But if you think of it more as a guide, look, I say this when I used to teach about Sikhi. I used to say, look, the beauty of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and that was our first Sikh Guru, guys, is that he didn't come and he didn't say, right, I'm Sikh. He never said that, first of all, and this is the only way to God. Okay, he never said that. What he said was, this is the way I practice. These are the results of me practicing this way. You can choose to follow it if you want to. That's it. He lived by example. His example is there. It's there as a guide, but the point of it is to say that this is a tested methodology that works, and there's evidence that it works. How much you choose to follow it, how you follow it, how you express it, even within Sikhi, and I say this again to a lot of people, it's people will get to whatever you believe the end point to be of life. Whatever you want to call that, heaven or
Or
judgment,
whatever, yeah.
whatever you want to call that, people will get there before Sikhism, people will get there after Sikhism, people got there before there was any religion. There are millions of ways to get to that place. Not questioning that. This Sikhism, our pathway, is saying, this is one way to do it if you want to. That's what I say to people. And like I said, there's two things, dukkha sukh, right? If there is a certain reason why you want to come into it and you get really kind of aligned to it, you'll come in. If there's a lot of pain, you come from pain, there's death, there's separation, your belief systems don't work and you come into it, you'll come in. You know, like the whole thing about in prisons where people found the Lord and that kind of thing. So my belief is there will be a time where people will come to whatever, kind of path of spirituality they need to ultimately find contentment and peace and whatever that is that they want.
Yeah, I guess so.
Moderation. I agree with you. Moderation
is true, but I do
Context.
think maybe this 16 thing could have some validity behind it because you haven't fully formed your opinions as a person. Maybe you can figure it out afterwards and you can see what you want to do and you can just sort of have a better, clearer mind than say somebody that's sort of been pushed along this road and realise later on it's too late for them.
No, maybe not going to be the way I'm going to do it because kids are going to be going to the Gurdwara up until 16.
Well, this sort of leads into the next topic, which is faith schools. So, me personally, I would never send a kid of mine to a faith school that only has people of that kind. Like, I wouldn't send them to a Sikh school only that only has Sikh people because you build fuck all people
Social
experience.
skills.
Yeah, you don't have any social skills. You can only talk to one set of people. Even then, they're probably slightly warped as well. And then your perception of life isn't right. And then when you go to the workplace, you got to deal with all types of people. And now you're like, oh, I don't know how to talk to you, right?
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm not really well versed.
I can see why parents want to send their kids to faith schools, because they're familiar. They understand the system that's going to be put into them. It matches up with what they think, with their values, as you like to say. And then therefore they're thinking, oh, this makes them double down on their things. But the one thing you find with faith schools is the kids that come out of it tend to be the most sort of confused, because when they get to the real world, they just don't understand it.
Some of them, you're going to get that with normal schools as well. But I agree with you. I agree with you here. I think the more exposure you can have, this is something I believe a lot more as I get older. Exposure and experimentation. You just need to be exposed to a lot more things to find A, where you fit, and B, how to deal with more and more things. So let me give you a medical example. So I'm a senior medical registrar now. When juniors come to me with problems, the reason why it stresses me out less or I'm able to deal with it is because I've just seen it before. But if you've not had that exposure, if I've just seen one thing every single day, one presentation meaning if I only see patients who come in with chest pain, and then somebody comes in with shortness of breath, I'm like, oh shit, man, what do I do now? No exposure, thing. And I think for a child, like, again, I look back at it, your formative years, the years where you understand how to be part of a peer group, you understand how to be friends, you understand how to speak to girls. Like, all these things just naturally need to happen. And I feel like you need an environment that allows that to happen, or that testing to happen, so the person can understand and find themselves. And I'm an advocate for a wide experience. Like, I had a primary school which was mixed boys and girls. And then and we had a lot of non-brown people there. Then I went to a boys' school, but then we had girls in sixth form, and then obviously university was even more mixed. But what it's meant, I know you're of the same vein, that I have a collection of friends who are across different ethnicities, different cultures.
Yeah.
And then you get a deep appreciation for that. And I think, in one of our earlier episodes, we talked about racism and how do we deal with racism, right?
Yeah.
It's like now, I'm around, let's say, there's a lot of Islamophobia, but I'm around Muslim people, and I have an appreciation for how they pray, what some of their words mean. So to me, if somebody's next to me and they're saying something, it's not like, oh my God, he's a terrorist. It's like, okay, I know what they mean. It's fine. There's acceptance from but I only have that because I've been allowed to be exposed to lots and lots of different types of people. So I agree.
I do think that faith schools should potentially be banned. I don't think that they should be a thing.
When did they come about? Like, that's not something.
I have no idea. I'd love to know how they came about. I think it all started when you have Protestant schools and Catholic schools. And fucking hell, it's bad of me. I don't know the difference between the two. I think one follows a different church to the other, or something.
You got Catholicism, which is based on, obviously, the leader of that church is the Pope. Yeah. So this goes back to a very quick history lesson. So Henry VIII. So when Henry VIII came along, he basically wanted to get divorced. The divorce doesn't exist in Catholicism, so he produced a new a sect called the Church of England, which is Protestantism, which has already existed anyway.
Yeah.
And obviously in this sect, they don't acknowledge the Pope. So two different sects. So obviously, the monarchy, the head of our church in the UK, you've obviously got the Archbishop of Canterbury, but you also have the Queen, and then you have Catholicism, the Vatican, the Pope. That's all.
Oh, right. That's the distinction.
Yeah.
So the Archbishop of Canterbury is the head of the church.
Head of the Church of England. Yeah.
Who's the Archbishop of Canterbury at the moment?
I don't know. You can search him. Yeah.
Archbishop of Canterbury. Justin Welby. I don't know who that is, mate.
Or just type in who is the...
I typed in his name. Yeah, hang on. The top headline, yeah. Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, apologised for saying COP26 leaders would be cursed.
Wow.
Because of the whole climate change. Guys that don't understand. Those that have met up, world leaders have been meeting up the last couple of days for the climate change summit. And this guy's saying, yeah, they're all cursed. And then apologised for it. Awkward. Yeah, I don't know how faith schools came about. It would be good to know, but it's weird, man. I don't think that they should be a thing. And when it came to, I'm not sure if 90% of schools in the UK were set up as either Protestant or Catholic, and we just went to those schools, and then they warped into something else, so it didn't become like a faith school, but even then they still taught you the Lord's Prayer, grace, etc., and you
And
know
hymns,
all the hymns, and you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
all those things. So technically, is that still a faith school? Maybe it is. Maybe that should be abolished. Maybe it should just be normal schooling. There shouldn't be anything else in it. There shouldn't be faith mixed in at all.
So you mean like France to become like a secular system is what you're saying?
Is that how France have done it?
Yeah, they're very, very secular. You're right. I think back when we did all the hymns and things, and I think I view
Bro,
that
I
as
still
really
know
like-
mine. I still know the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah,
and
but
the
and I
grace
have
and
fond
shit. It's mad.
I have fond memories, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think
No,
everything I
don't.
learned from that, there's good values in that.
But I
Like,
didn't know why. But again, I didn't know why I was saying it as a kid.
Yeah. Fine. But again, now when we look back at it, we still look back in a good light, and now maybe we have the understanding. So some
But
things
that
we
could
do
have gone very left. It could have been like, now I can go home and say to mum and dad, I want to be a Christian.
could have. Yeah,
Could be. You never know.
Could be. Yeah.
That's dangerous. So
Hindsight
I don't know.
is. It's hard to have one solution for everything. It's the intention behind these things. But yeah, yeah. I think what schools are trying to extract maybe from religion at a very high level are these morals and values and principles about how to live.
yeah, but I don't think the morals and
human
values and
being.
principles of, say, the Church of England or the Vatican are very, very wise to abide by, considering how fucked up they are.
Yeah, but you're looking at it from a what actually happens point of view rather than a, because when we're taught things from a this is what it should be, idealistic point of view, rather than this is what actually happens. Yeah, look, you get
Yeah,
older,
but-
you look at scandals and all these things, but when someone's teaching you, look, you shouldn't lie. Respect is important, honor is important. You get taught like that, don't you? It's not like, oh, you should do this, but this is what happens. You know?
It is that, but then when the highest people at the highest sects are in charge of all of that, and they do atrocities basically on kids or whatever, and that spreads down to the other generations, and it turns into a massive problem. Like, I'm sure you've seen Spotlight.
Yeah, good film.
That's the
Very
most
good film.
heartbreaking film I've ever watched.
Very good film,
And for those of you that haven't, please watch it. It's basically about the scandal of the
Priests.
priests that feed into the Vatican. So yeah, and how they were just essentially
It was
molesting
grooming young
kids.
boys, isn't it? Yeah.
And it was horrible, absolutely horrible to watch. And you're thinking this isn't real, and they're like, no, this is a true story. And it shakes you to your core, because you're thinking, if religion can do that and it can cause that much of an issue and it can be abused in this way, when it's
but
something
that's
so pure.
Yeah, but look at your statement there. Religion doesn't cause that. The way somebody practices religion is a different thing. Yes,
Exactly.
people are in positions of power and responsibility have abused that power. Absolutely wrong. But if you express your faith in a pure way, again, the faith itself is objective. How you express your faith is where there is interpretation.
Well, faith is objective, isn't it? Because that's why you get different sects of people that follow different types of your religion. So even in Sikhi, we have people that follow different types of Sikhi, and that gets a bit complicated as well, because there's some people who read other scriptures that aren't necessarily certified in Sikhi
Or mainstream.
but they believe it so heavily. Or they'll have Gurdwara that are set up for those that aren't Gurus Gurdwara, because they're a different sect of Gurus.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Like, I'm not one to judge, but I didn't get it growing up, and then now I look at it and I'm like, oh, you just believe in a different version of what I believe in.
Yes.
And
Again,
that's fine.
and for me, yeah, exactly. That most of the population are there, but there is a population now in this society where we're so depolarized. It's like, you believe this, and you're not allowed to believe this, and you must believe what I believe.
When you
But
say
actually, we should-
depolarized, do you mean polarized?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know why I said depolarized. Polarized. It's so
Yeah.
polarized,
Yeah.
right? Whereas it should be like what you're saying. It's like, oh, okay, you believe that. It's different to what I believe. But it's okay. And
That's
end
what
of
it
story.
should be.
End of
But it
story.
doesn't turn into that, does it?
It doesn't. Yeah, that is one of the problems. It's this whole people's imposition of the way they express, and what they believe and why they believe. Everything has to be questioned. Now, obviously,
You
there is
think of
some
all,
malicious
you
and evil.
think
It's
of
different.
like all the issues with religion, and you think of how there's been conflicts with, let's take for example, Muslims and Hindus. That's a long-standing issue that's happened for centuries, and that's fed its way into sport, like India versus Pakistan. That's fed its way into just like cultural acceptance, where it's really, really frowned upon for any of those two to even be wedded to one another. And it gets, as you said, polarizing, but then it just it turns into another life of its own, and you're thinking, wait, where did all this start from? And it started over a conflict that happened hundreds of years ago.
Mm.
And
Finish?
it's just one thing after another, and then people don't stop and think, where did this come from? Let's take a step back. Can we not just make amends?
Absolutely.
It's not comfortable to sort of have that conversation and understand it and be impartial. But when people are so like, I'm right and you're wrong, you can't reason with those people.
You can't. And again, this is where wisdom comes in. So the older you get, I'm not gonna. What did I read the other day? A quiet lion is a quiet lion is more dangerous. No, not more dangerous. A quiet lion is more comfortable, more confident than a barking dog. And it's just, this whole notion about, wise men speak very little. They speak when they have something to say, rather than just speaking for the sake of speaking. I think that's what I'm finding as I get older. Like, there used to be a lot of things that trigger me, especially about religion. Especially
it used to trigger me as well. I used to get really pissed off when people would try and push it on others, or when they would have any sort of way of pushing on to others, or things have to be done in this way. And I'd be that dickhead who keeps on questioning people. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? I wouldn't accept any answer given to me, which isn't nice. But then I always thought, no, I'm doing the right thing by questioning everything. But then I realised that can be not offensive, but it can come across as quite knobbish. So I was like, okay, maybe I should stop doing that.
Yeah, and as we get older, it's a very... I think everything we mentioned is correct about how it can be the source of conflict and a lot of separation. But if you think about this will depend on what you think about the resolution of your soul is, right, and what that endpoint is. And some people believe you live one life, you die, and that's it. Fine, if you believe that, that's fine. For a lot of other people, the way to finish your karmas, to finish what you're here to do, there's a methodology, there's a way, there's a path. They want to be able to follow a path and trust in something after that. That's where it is helpful. But again, that is a very, very personal relationship between you and your creator. And there's something my mum used to say, she still says it now, but when we were young, she'd be like, look, I'm your mum, this is your dad, this is your sister, and it's nice to have a nice family in this life, but when it's all said and done, at the end, you're accountable for your actions alone. When you're in front of God, that's it. You come into this world alone, you'll go alone. And that's always stuck with me, and I always think about this equation. Apart from when you get married, actually, marriage is an interesting thing within Sikhi and Anti-climatic. So if you read the Lama,
it's two becoming one and all that stuff.
Yeah, but it's really deep. It's very, very literal. It is now this is your joint, path towards that higher power and finishing and things. But generally, it's a very personal relationship, and I think the older you get, you focus on how do you continue with your spirituality, but within your network, if there are people who are open-minded. Right, so I do speak about these things, but the people I will speak to this about are very, very small. And if I'm going to ask questions, I want to ask in a safe place as well. So somewhere I'm going to go where there's not judgment. So the things I'm being told is taught in a way to help me understand, rather than like, you don't know this and this is wrong and you shouldn't do this, or whatever.
Could be, but you still need to question those beliefs in order to understand them properly.
Yeah, exactly, but in a safe environment. So if I am questioning, exactly. So I want to be, and I am in a space where I'm able to question with people of experience. That's very important to me. So if I'm asking about certain things in spirituality, then I don't want to hear like a textbook answer. I want to hear from somebody who's actually experienced that, and they can reflect back to me. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm here. Like, this is what I'm trying to do. Or this doesn't make sense to me. Surely this means this. So again, if you do, and you have someone who doesn't have that kind of deep knowledge and experience, then they may get kind of reactive and inflammatory, like, just believe it, you should just believe it, like that kind of thing. Whereas I know right, because I know from my kind of thing, I'm a science background, right? Now there are certain things which are
how do you believe in both then? How do you believe in God but also science?
I get asked this all the time. This is like the number one thing, and the law of attraction. Like, I believe in all three things at the same time. And if you, what actually used to help me was if you look at Einstein and the things that he used to say, one of the most famous scientists ever, who changed the world. Obviously, great physicist, and he talked about how nothing is possible without God. That's essentially what Einstein used to say. From my point of view,
I don't know if he did say that. I never heard him say that.
Okay, that's good. Let me get the quote for you. There's a great.
Did he actually say that, or are you interpreting it to say that?
No, there's a quote. He had loads of quotes about God.
So he believed in God.
Yeah.
So he's a scientist who again believed in God. That's interesting.
Yeah. The more I study science, the more I believe in God.
What? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Right.
There's one about God being a gardener. This is really good.
These quotes that you're reading, they're not just like a picture and say a quote next to it, because those can be falsified easily.
No, they could be. It's not those. There is another one. There's another one. I will find it. There's a definition. It might not be Einstein. This is somebody else now, but there's somebody who gives a great definition of God, and he basically says, I believe in the God that is not. Let me find that. It's a great quote.
I believe in the God that is not.
Yeah, let me find it.
Finish that sentence, doctor.
No, it's not John Lennon.
John Lennon.
No, it's not that one. It's the first one that came up.
Very different type of God there, mate. Anyway, this is fizzling, so I'm going to move on a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I'll come back to this, but your question was, why do I believe in God and science?
Why do you believe in it?
There were just certain things, like you can't see the air, but you know it exists, don't you? You don't see gravity.
Yeah.
We've given a word to these things. We've just medicalized, not medicalized it, we've scientified it. It's like we've given a name to these things, this phenomenon, and that makes it scientific. But they're just there, and people question, well, how can you prove the existence of God? Well, you can't prove any of these other things either. You can't prove gravity. You can't prove that air exists.
Yeah, but you can prove the existence of gravity.
No, you can prove that if you drop something, it goes to the ground. That's not. We call it gravity. Doesn't mean it is gravity. That's just us normalizing it, saying, yeah. This is what we call gravity now.
Okay, but that force exists. Like, you can prove it exists.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but then why is that not God? Why are you saying it's just a force? Who produces the force?
The Big Bang. Other people would just say the Big Bang started.
No. So what created the Big Bang?
No one knows.
Well, exactly. But those things, I get this question a lot as well about how did the world start and how the world end. Again, it doesn't help me as a practicing Sikh. I don't focus on that type of stuff. What I focus on is me as a doctor. He has given me the means to help people. And the reason why I want to focus on helping people, that's purely from a Sikhi perspective, is because we believe in seva, helping people. And from my perspective, that's what I should focus on. If I want to, people say to me, how do you serve God? My answer is very simple. If you want to serve God, serve his people, because he lives in everything. And serve them as equals. That's also very important.
Yeah.
So for me, there is no conflict at all. He's given me the ability to treat people with medicines. Great. But at the end of the day, I know I can't play God. When it's your time to go, you go. I can't stop that.
But you kind of do, because you can stop something from happening to get people to live a little bit longer.
Absolutely. But I'm saying when it's actually time, I can't stop that. When the soul leaves the body.
Is that time not dependent on them getting to you in time?
Not always, man. I mean, as you know, there are certain things we can save and certain things it's beyond our skillty.
Yeah, there is. But still, okay, if it's written in the way that you think it is with the law of attraction, if you're destined to die on this day, right, fine, cool. But then there are certain things along the way that say if you get involved in a fatal accident and a doctor saves you, your life is prolonged. If the doctor didn't get to you in time, or you didn't get to the doctor in time, you would have died. I don't think that that's a preemptive thing that's destined. I think that's down to choice.
See, now you're talking about...
It's involved variables.
This is a different conversation now. Now we're talking about, is everything preordained?
I'm not trying to say is everything preordained, but... Well, yeah, I guess I kind of am. But there is a factor in there where you can say you're not playing God, but then you kind of do have the powers of others that make you seem like you kind of are a god because you're a doctor. You can do things that 99% of the population can't do.
I wouldn't, but it's not if the body is dead in front of me, I can't rise it from
Of
the
course
dead.
not. No, you can't bring it back to life like Evanescence or any of that. You can't do any of that, right?
Mm.
But what I'm trying to say is that if somebody gets to you in time, you can take preventative measures to prolong their life or stop them from having that happening.
I completely agree. I wouldn't say that is godlike though, at all. The way I view myself personally is a vehicle. It's a vessel to help people. He allows me to help people. He gives me the way, and this is something switch for me, and I can't remember who told me this, but it was this whole thing about privilege. If I look at my work as I have to do this, it's not fulfilling. If I look at my work as I get to do this, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to help people and serve people.
Yeah.
And then my day goes really well. And then my day is full of banter. It's interesting conversations. It's helping people. It's whole notion of saving lives.
That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a lot of things in life, guys. It's if you look at it, I have the ability to do. I am able to do this. I get to do this, rather than have to do this. The switch will change. You like that, don't you? At least smiling. Private is priceless. Yeah.
Huh? Private is priceless. That's the one thing that we just
blown your mind this week, baby.
Private is priceless. Yeah. All right, cool. I'm happy to. How long are we in? Hang on. Yeah, we can call it there. Okay, fine. I'll let you go on that. Those of you that have any other questions on this quite philosophical religious conversation, please let us know.
Great topic.
Push Doctor on it, man. If you don't agree with the stuff he said, push me on it if you don't agree with anything I said. I'm an inquisitive guy. I always will be. I'm trying to be more respectful with that. That's something I'm working on instead of being confrontational. But that's my character. I'm trying to be nicer about it. Yeah. So, any questions, anything that comes to your mind, anything you want us to cover in terms of religion, please give us a shout. Karan will be better placed to give you a Sikhi approach. I can do the opposite and look at other religions and give you some sort of input if needed. So yes, thank you for listening, guys. Please do like this episode if you are watching on YouTube, because it helps with the algorithms. And if you are in front of a computer and you're listening to this via audio, just jump on and press the like button for us on YouTube. That would be really cool.
Come on, man.
And
do it.
Hashtag Be Like Bao is a starting movement. He comments on all the videos on YouTube. So if you can drop us a comment and just say,
Be like
I like
Bao.
this, I do not like this. Yeah, he comments on all of our videos. So I'm like, please be like that, because it helps us with the algorithms and getting our stuff exposed to other people that are our current subscribers. That'd be pretty great. Please share this with other people if you think you can, or if you think you liked it. And if you want to get in contact with us, shout us on Instagram. Take care, guys. Go and I will see you next week.
Ciao, bella.